Hey folks, this is Kalani. WoW's 20th anniversary event got off to a bit of a rocky start, but the dev team is wasting no time in making drastic changes to speed everything up. We'll now be able to get far more bronze celebration tokens per week, making it much easier and faster to get all of the rewards on offer. There have also been some additional nerfs to both the Blackrock Depths raid and the Nerobar Palace raid to make them even easier to complete, and there are various class changes that have been reverted at the very last minute. There's a lot to talk about, so let's break it all down in this week's WoW News video. Now before we jump in, be sure to hit up that like button and subscribe so you never miss another video. Let's start by talking about the massive changes to the anniversary event that went live with the weekly reset. Many sources of bronze celebration tokens have been increased quite dramatically. The Kaz Algar weekly quests have seen some huge increases. The weekly quests in Dornegal, things like the World Soul quest or the Delve quest, those are all going to reward you with 10 tokens now. This includes the weekly Arena event quest as well, so be sure to pick that up if you like to bash some skulls in Arena. All of the Kaz Algar weekly activities will now also reward you with 8 tokens each, so that's the Kaz Algar World Boss, all 4 of the zone events, the various weekly quests you can do, and the special assignment world quests, 8 tokens each. The weekly PvP quests also reward you with a lot of tokens now too. Both the War Mode quest and the Epic Battleground quest reward you with 8 tokens, and then Preserving Teamwork should reward you with 15 tokens. Some of these quests don't always say they reward tokens for some weird reason, but you should get the tokens on hand in even if they aren't listed as rewards for the quest. You can also queue into the weekly brawl to get another quest to earn 10 more tokens, so PvP can really net you a lot of tokens going forward. On top of all of that, your first kill of Queen Ansurek on any difficulty above LFR also rewards 15 tokens now, so that is definitely worth trying to get done. With all of these reward buffs in place, you can now get up to 140 tokens per week just from the Kaz Algar weekly activities and quests. Now sadly, the anniversary event weekly quests at the event area don't seem to have changed at all. They still only reward you with 3 tokens each. They're still worth picking up and completing if you're already taking part in that content for other reasons, but I would prioritize the Kaz Algar weekly stuff first for sure. Now before we continue, today's video is sponsored by Warhammer 40,000 Tacticus. Tacticus is a free-to-play, fast-paced tactical mobile game set in the eternal conflict of the brutal Warhammer 40,000 universe. What I really enjoy about this game is that your strategy really does matter. Which champions you take into battle, where you place your units, when you use their special abilities, each one could be the difference between victory and defeat. With over 70 legendary champions to collect across 17 playable factions, it's not easy choosing which of the universe's most powerful warriors you'll want to send forth into battle, but you are sure to find some champions that suit your playstyle and aesthetic. There are also so many ways to play, with an extensive PvE campaign to explore the universe, setting and story, and constant live events to keep things interesting. You can fight against other players in exciting PvP combat, or strategize with friends to challenge guild raids for even greater rewards. There are also constant updates with new content, champions, and events to look forward to, so click the link in the description to download Tacticus today, and you can use the special code on screen to get some free starter bonuses to help you survive the eternal conflict. Now getting back to the video, with all of these changes in place, you should be able to get the Token Collector achievement very quickly now, which opens up a whole bunch of other options for farming your tokens. Classic time-walking dungeon runs will reward you with 2 tokens per completion, and you can run these as often as you want to. The Codex of Chromie scenario will reward you with 2 tokens per completion, and you can run this one as often as you want as well. Anniversary world bosses each reward you with 1 per kill. There are 6 world bosses active every day, and you can kill them once per day for the token reward. So that's 6 per day if you kill all of the world bosses related to the anniversary event. You can also get these tokens on your alts, so you can farm 6 tokens per day per character if you really want to. The daily quests in the Corrix Revenge Battleground will reward you with 3 each, and with them being daily, you can do them every single day. There are 4 quests total, so you can grab 12 tokens per day from Corrix Revenge, and you can also do these on your alts as well if you want to. And then the Blackrock Depths event raid is going to reward a whole bunch of tokens. You can get 3 per main boss and 2 per mini boss, so for killing all of the bosses in the raid you'll get 24 per week, and if you kill all 5 mini bosses as well you'll get an extra 10 for a total total of 34 tokens per week from the raid. Each difficulty also seems to drop the tokens individually, so if you can clear LFR, normal and heroic, you can get 102 tokens per week just from the raid. You can also do this on as many alts as you want to just to earn those tokens again and again. So between the huge buffs for weekly activities and the token collector achievement opening up even more options, getting enough tokens to buy everything you want just got so much easier and faster. That's not the only part of the event that has been made much easier this week. The Blackrock Depths raid seems to have been nerfed even further. So we had a huge list of changes going into this week, which was mainly for LFR and normal mode, but we have another nerf to the damage and health of all enemies and bosses that has been hotfixed in. The health of all enemies has been reduced by 11%, and damage has been reduced by 9% on normal mode, and then health and damage has been reduced by 11% for all enemies on heroic mode. So not only does this make normal mode even easier than it was going to be, but heroic is actually seeing a nerf as well. Heroic wasn't really touched in the initial round of changes, and it's actually tuned to be harder than the Nerebar Palace raid, which is really silly in my opinion. Even if the rewards are on par with the Nerebar Palace, the event raid should have been something that the vast majority of folks could hop into and have some fun progressing through, but to make it harder than the actual Season 1 War Within raid makes it more of a progression thing, something for the raiders to progress through. But that also doesn't make much sense because the rewards aren't worth the extra effort either. Hopefully these nerfs bring normal mode and heroic mode down to a point where more people can hop in, kill some bosses and have some fun raiding. I still think heroic will probably need another nerf or two, but this is still going to be better than nothing. Blackrock Depths isn't the only raid getting nerfed though. The Queen Ansurek fight was also knocked down a peg or two at the start of this week, and all of these nerfs are for heroic mode, so it's going to make getting your ahead of the curve achievement quite a bit easier. You'll have fewer web blades to deal with, fewer silken tombs going out, some timings have been adjusted, and grasping silk periodic damage was nerfed by 25%, and then in phase 2 Gloom Blast was knocked down by 15% as well. So all in all, these changes should make Queen Ansurek quite a bit easier on heroic mode. That's not all though. It seems like the dev team have also changed their mind about a couple of class changes that were scheduled to go live this week, which is a bit weird. They usually wait at least a couple of weeks to revert nerfs or buffs most of the time, but I'm sure the shamans won't complain. Elemental won't be getting nerfed quite as badly as they were supposed to. The nerf to Echo Chamber and to the Elemental Overload bonus while you have Ascendance active were both scrubbed from the patch notes, so those weren't pushed through. The rest of the nerfs will still be in place, but your overall damage won't be quite as low as it could have been. And then there's a change for warriors too. They were supposed to get a 10% buff to execute damage, but that's been knocked down to 7%. So you're still getting a buff, it's just not as significant as it would have been. It's not all too often that we see changes to the scheduled class updates as they go live, so keep your eyes peeled. A few more buffs may come your way, or even more nerfs may be reverted and removed. It doesn't feel great for the buffs and nerfs to be so erratic though, so I hope they can fine-tune things a bit better in the future. And then the last thing I want to go over in this video is a quick preview of the items coming to the trading post in November, because there are some very cool new transmogs coming with the start of the next month. You'll be able to pick up the Dark Ranger General set, which is basically Sylvanus' armor, complete with Quiver for the hunters, so we're going to see so many Dark Ranger style Sylvanus clones running around after November, that's for sure. There's also this cool new mage looking set called the High Scholar's Arcana, so if you needed more gear to rep the Violet Eye, this should fit the bill quite nicely. Then we have these really cool new simple hoods. They're slightly different to the ones we've seen already, but they also have an option with a metal looking face mask. You could make some really cool transmog sets with these. And then the bonus reward for the Traveler's Log is going to be the Warcraft 3 inspired back pieces that we've seen advertised alongside the anniversary event. There's one for each original Warcraft 3 faction, so if you want to sport something to wrap those old factions used to play, these are going to be really cool. There are also a whole bunch of class transmogs and various other bits and bobs, so a lot to look forward to on the November trading post. But that's all of the updates that you need to know about going into this week, so that's it for this video. How do you feel about the huge buffs to the Bronze Celebration token acquisition and how many you can get now, even though none of them were for the actual event activities and those weekly quests? Leave all your thoughts in the comment section below. A big thank you to all of our supporters over on Patreon and to all of our members here on YouTube. You can see the names floating by on screen. If you're interested in supporting the channel, you can find links in the description or click the join button just below the video. If you enjoyed the video or found it useful in any way, make sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you're always kept up to date. Thanks for watching, folks, good luck and have fun, and as always I will see you next time. Don't forget to check out Warhammer 40,000 Tacticus today and use the code on screen to kickstart your journey.